Rakai, the very name hangs in the air like a whispered threat. A rural district in Uganda, cloaked in emerald green hills and shimmering lakes. A place where beauty masks a terrifying secret. A darkness festers at its heart, a secret so horrific it defies comprehension. This is the story of Rakai'S hidden nightmare. The story of human meat butcheries and the consumption of human flesh. The air in Rakai is thick with the scent of wood smoke and fear. The laughter of children playing is tinged with an undercurrent of unease. The eyes of the locals speak volumes. Eyes that have witnessed unspeakable horrors. Eyes that dart nervously, holding back secrets too terrible to tell. Days bleed into nights, each one indistinguishable from the last. Except when the moon hangs heavy in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows. That's when the whispers begin. Whispers of the butcher shops. Whispers of missing persons. Whispers of the taste of human flesh. The truth, they say, is often stranger than fiction. In Rakai, the truth is far more horrifying. This is not a work of fiction. It's a chilling descent into the heart of darkness, into the abyss of the human soul. For years, rumors circulated like wildfire through the villages and towns surrounding Rakai. Whispers of strange disappearances, of people vanishing without a trace. The stories were always shrouded in fear and hushed tones. No one dared speak of them openly. Then the whispers turned into screams, a discovery so horrific, so unspeakable, it shattered the silence and shook the community to its core. A local stumbled upon a hidden butcher shop, its floor slick with blood. But this was no ordinary butcher shop. The meat on display, the bodies hanging from hooks, were not animal. The news spread like a virus, infecting the minds of everyone who heard it. The authorities descended upon Rakai, their faces grim, their eyes betraying their shock. They uncovered a network of these butcheries, hidden in plain sight. A horrifying truth began to emerge. The world gasped in horror as the story broke. Headlines screamed of cannibalism in the heart of Africa. Disbelief and revulsion rippled across the globe. Rakai, once an unknown corner of the world, became synonymous with a darkness few could comprehend. Stepping inside one of these alleged butcheries is like stepping into the darkest recesses of a nightmare. The air is thick with the metallic scent of blood, the stench of decay clinging to every surface. The walls, stained a gruesome crimson, seem to pulse with a sinister energy. Crudely fashioned hooks hang from the ceiling, their original purpose all too clear. The floor, covered in sawdust, does little to mask the evidence of the horrors that unfolded within these walls. Discarded bones lie scattered, picked clean of any remaining flesh. In the corner sits a large, rusted metal basin filled with water that is far from clean. It is impossible to look at it without imagining the blood that must have stained its surface, the flesh it must have cleansed. The tools of this gruesome trade, knives, cleavers, saws, are scattered about, each one a silent testament to the atrocities committed within these walls. The question that haunts everyone's mind is why? Why would human beings commit such unspeakable acts? The answers, shrouded in rumor and speculation, are perhaps more disturbing than the acts themselves. Some whisper of ancient rituals passed down through generations, shrouded in secrecy and fear. Others speak of desperate poverty, of a hunger so profound that it drove people to the unthinkable. Still others believe it goes beyond hunger, that the consumption of human flesh holds a darker significance, a belief in the power it bestows, a way to absorb the strength and vitality of the victim. Whatever the reason, the rituals surrounding the consumption of human flesh in Rakai remain shrouded in mystery. Survivors are few, and those who escaped the nightmare are often too traumatized to speak. The details of how the victims were chosen, how they were killed, and how their flesh was prepared remain largely unknown. To understand the darkness that descended upon Rakai, one must delve into the annals of its past. Some historians point to ancient tribal conflicts where cannibalism was practiced as a form of ritual warfare, a way to strike fear into the hearts of enemies, to assert dominance over their vanquished foes. Others suggest that the roots of Rakai's horror lie in the tumultuous history of Uganda itself. Decades of political instability, brutal dictatorships, and widespread poverty have left their mark on the nation's psyche. Have these societal ills created a breeding ground for such depravity? Or is there something more, something deeper and more sinister at play? Could there be a connection to traditional beliefs and practices that have been twisted and corrupted over time? The truth, lost in the mists of time and shrouded in secrecy, may never be fully known. The discovery of Rakai'S human meat butcheries sent shockwaves through the community. But it also revealed a chilling truth. This was not the work of a lone madman, but a horror that had been allowed to flourish in the shadows. A culture of silence, born of fear and intimidation, had allowed this darkness to take root. Many locals claimed to have been unaware of the butcheries, their existence hidden in plain sight. Others admit to hearing rumors, but were too afraid to speak out. The grip of fear was strong, silencing those who might have raised the alarm. The victims, often travelers or those from neighboring villages, were easy prey. Their disappearances, met with shrugs and knowing glances, were rarely investigated. The perpetrators, emboldened by the silence, operated with impunity. The news of Rakai'S human meat butcheries sent shockwaves around the globe. International media descended upon the small town, their cameras capturing the horror and disbelief. Human rights organizations condemned the atrocities, calling for swift and decisive action. The Ugandan government, initially slow to respond, came under intense pressure to bring the perpetrators to justice. Police investigations were launched, but they were hampered by the culture of silence and the fear that permeated the community. Witnesses were reluctant to come forward, and evidence was often scarce. Despite the challenges, some arrests were made and trials began, but the question remained: would justice be served? Would the full extent of the horror ever be revealed? And could Rakai ever escape the shadow of its dark secret? The legacy of Rakai'S human meat butcheries will forever be etched into the soul of Uganda. It is a stain on the nation's conscience, a stark reminder of the capacity for human darkness. The scars of this horror run deep, impacting not only the families of the victims, but also the social fabric of the community. The town, once known for its beauty and tranquility, is now synonymous with cannibalism and terror. The tourism industry, once a source of income for many locals, has been decimated. The psychological toll on the community is immeasurable. The weight of history hangs heavy in the air. Rakai serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of civilization, of the thin veneer that separates us from our basest instincts. It is a call to action, a plea for understanding and intervention to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. As shocking and incomprehensible as the events in Rakai are, they are not isolated incidents. Throughout history, there have been documented cases of cannibalism in various cultures and contexts. From the Fore people of Papua New Guinea, who practiced ritualistic cannibalism, to the Donner Party, driven to the unthinkable by starvation, the human capacity for consuming human flesh has been tragically demonstrated time and again. These cases, while diverse in their motivations and practices, highlight the complex interplay of factors that can contribute to such behavior. Cultural beliefs, extreme environmental conditions, social breakdown, and psychological factors can all play a role. By examining these cases, researchers and anthropologists hope to gain a deeper understanding of the motivations behind cannibalism and to develop strategies to prevent such atrocities from occurring in the future. The horrors of Rakai'S human meat butcheries leave us with more questions than answers. Why did this happen? How could it have gone on for so long? And what can be done to prevent such atrocities from happening again? There is no easy answer, no single solution to this complex problem. It requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of such behavior, including poverty, lack of education, and social inequality. We must strive to understand the factors that contribute to such acts of depravity, to shine a light on the darkest corners of humanity. Only through understanding can we hope to prevent such horrors from happening again. The victims of Rakai deserve justice, and the world deserves answers. Let this be a wake-up call, a reminder of our shared humanity and our responsibility to protect one another.